I'm ready.
Yeah, you're good to go.
My body is ready.
My body is ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's fucking do it, guys. Let's do it. All right. Welcome back to Midwestern Heads Podcast. We have a very special guest today, Joe Mauck, right? That's how you pronounce it? Mauck?
Yeah, yes, actually.
Okay, Joe Mauck.
It surprises me. Someone
Is it
got it
spelled
right.
weird?
It is. It's,
Okay.
Yeah, M-A-U-C-K?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good. Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, I wish we could have been recording like all that stuff because that was good. We kind of already did like a pre-podcast to this podcast. We just couldn't stop.
Yeah,
going.
warm up. Yeah,
it was a warm up. Yeah,
We were pre-gaming the podcast.
exactly
With extra words.
Exactly. Yeah, Joe has become a good friend of mine pretty quickly, and just I feel like you're a pretty interesting dude, and we've kind of connected, and I just want people to kind of get to know you. I think it'll be cool. But
Well, I would like to counter that I am not an interesting dude. I prefer life to be boring.
yeah. We'll put a disclaimer at the front, warning that we're all very boring. And why are you listening?
That is, I want my life to be boring. That's how I prefer it.
but I feel like it's not though. I don't know.
I mean, my main hobbies are books and board games. I was born a 90-year-old man. I'm completely fine with that.
You know your place, and it's books and board games like rice pudding and.
Right.
I despise rice pudding, but that's I'm allowed a few.
With the actual age, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
When I lose all the teeth, maybe.
Yeah.
For sure then. Yeah.
Well, Joe is you got a couple things going.
Mm-hmm.
You got so you build guitars.
Yes, sir. I'm a luthier.
What's the name of your company?
Joe's Guitar Shop.
Very creative. I love it.
Very
That's
boring.
a nice classic name, though.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that? I never really have heard the story of kind of how that kind of came to
What's your
fruition.
origin story?
Well,
on
that's actually kind of a long, boring story.
It's probably not boring. I'm cool for long stories, by the way.
It starts millions of years ago.
Okay.
No. I had always wanted to play guitar ever since I was little, and I'm not going to name the song that I heard that's like, man, I need to learn to play guitar to play that, because I'm much older now and don't want to cop to what terrible song that was.
Oh, that's like a unspoken rule.
Yeah.
If you've ever picked an instrument up, it's kind of like cringy when you think back. You're like,
Yeah.
What actually got me into this again?
Exactly.
Seven Nation Army right here.
Yeah, I think it was probably like some Metallica song for me.
Yeah.
But
Sad but
the
true.
classics.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was. I actually started playing trumpet in 5th grade, and got pretty good. Really enjoyed it. Took a lesson from it was the second chair of the Kansas City Symphony, Phil Clark, for 4 years. Really enjoyed it. Loved playing. Still play from time to time, but in high school it was that I still really wanted to play guitar, but I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I needed to get, so I decided I would build one in shop class. And
you're already there. Might as well.
I'm in this class that says build something out of wood. What's made out of wood? Guitar. Okay,
Right.
I'll put
I need
these
a guitar.
together. Exactly. But finished that, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
But I played on it for several years, and started getting better. Really enjoyed it. But as time went on, I realized I really enjoyed building that guitar. I wanted to do more with that. Made friends with a friend of mine's uncle, Tom Rader, who was building guitars out of his garage at the time just as a hobby. And we got to be really good friends, still great friends to this day. He's been a great mentor and just a great friend for a very long time. But he helped me really kind of get started. And then I graduated high school. I went off to college, and it's, the same old love story with college. You go to college, realize I don't know why I'm here, so you leave.
Yeah.
Right. I did that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do these days. Yeah. Why do I want to, in 4 years, why do I want to be $100,000 in debt and not know, still not know what I want to do with my life?
Still not be able to get a
pretty hard
good
sell.
job.
Yeah. So I came home, went back to working landscaping. I'd done that for years, and then ended up getting a job in a warehouse. And I was making decent money, but I remember thinking there's other things that I would rather be doing.
Dude, this sounds so familiar. Literally, I've done warehouses too. Same exact thing.
We're all ex-warehouse people.
Let's be honest here. This is the true American dream. You know, it's not the it's not the married with 2.5 kids, white picket fence. No, that went away with the baby boomers.
Yeah,
you've got to find what you enjoy in life.
Absolutely.
And my thing was, it was literally one day, I was sitting reading. It was it Guitar World, I think, magazine.
Oh yeah,
it was
I
one
used
of
to read
those.
the crap out of that.
But I was sitting there reading it, and I'm just thinking, I don't enjoy where I am. I need to find something else. I need to find something that's going to fit what I want to do. And if I have to work every day for the rest of my life, I, by God, better enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then in the back, they had an ad for Gallup's Guitar School of Luthier. And I said, well, I need to look into this because this looks neat. And I ended up, it was a couple years after that, I had saved up and I went up to Michigan. And in this day and age, I tell everyone, especially, the younger generation, find a trade, find something that you can do that's going to pay you, but find a trade. Not everyone needs to go to college. Not everyone needs to be an accountant. Not everyone needs to get a degree they're never going to use, like my sister. But, I mean, she's pretty. She could marry in and, set up shop in someone else's life. That's fine. I'm not pretty. I can't do that. But no, it's... find something you're going to enjoy, and this very much turned into that. I went to, it was a 6-month trade school up in Michigan, and it was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't say that, because I had already been building a lot before that, and it was more honing skills instead of learning from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it was a wonderful experience. The teachers up there were fantastic. Russ was just one of the greatest people I've ever met. And I finally met someone else up there who was as big of a Yes fan as I am. So that made me happy. Because 70s prog rock is the greatest music ever. I don't care what anybody says. But no, then I came home and bought a house, set up shop in the garage, and that was 2006. And here it is, 2018, and I'm still doing the same thing.
That's awesome, man.
It's like you basically... You made it this far, so you've definitely outdone most people that's tried to start their own business. And
I say I'm too dumb to know any better, so I just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And the industry has changed drastically in those 12 years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Even, I guess, Gibson recently is going bankrupt. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll still probably be around, obviously, if they'll get refinanced somehow, but...
Right.
You're seeing the big guys start to crumble a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one of the big issues, you have instruments coming from cheaply made from other countries that aren't nearly the crap that they used to be.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people give me flack for this, but I don't do repair anymore. I do for friends, but I haven't done repair
like professionally,
openly,
commercially,
for a long time.
Yeah.
But used to have the Mexican Strats, the Mexi Strats would come in, and the American Strats would come in. It was always a crapshoot with the American Strats. Sure, the workmanship's better. Sure, the parts are better. But I would spend more time setting those up than those Mexi Strats.
Yeah.
Those stupid Mexi Strats would come out of the box. What was it, $250, $300?
Yep.
Come out of the box, ready to play.
Perfect. Yeah.
Set the intonation a little bit, because they're usually just a little off. But set it up for them to play, and they're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's what I play on the Mexi Strat.
Yeah,
that's a Mexi Telly right there.
Yeah.
You can put it in the freezer and then go heat it in the oven, and it'll still be perfectly. The neck won't move on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird.
Exactly. And is it quality craftsmanship? Hell no.
Right.
Is it a workhorse that you can take out to the bar, that you can take to a friend's house, that can fall off the back of the truck?
Yeah, you're not going to cry about it because it got dinged up, and that's like a $2,000 ding that you just got.
Exactly. And with those big changes, you have a lot of people. We have a lot of people. I used to go down to Winfield and a lot of the bluegrass stuff, and that's where I first started meeting people. But a lot of those people, you've got a younger generation that's coming up, but they're looking for different things than what their father and grandfather was.
Yeah.
You've got a younger generation who's getting into music who, I mean, we're going through in so much. We were talking about records earlier. It's that it's not just that it's something physical. There's a story to this. There's a pedigree to this.
It's got weight.
Exactly. And so you see that market of people are going for older guitars, things that,
boutique.
Might never have been popular, but... And so it changes, and everything changes, and business has to change along with that. So to that point, to this day, I don't advertise. I don't do social media. I hate social media.
I added you on Facebook like a while back, and I haven't got the approval.
Well, I had started a Facebook years and years and years ago because all of my friends at the time kept saying, they'd go do stuff and wouldn't invite me. It's like, what do you assholes do? I'm sorry.
No, you can feel free.
Yeah, dude, we're normally explicit. Yeah, we're good.
So what are you assholes doing? And it's like, oh, well, we put it on Facebook. It's like, all right, fine, I'll make one of these Facebooks. So I made a Facebook, and that just never used it.
Yeah, it
just had like one picture posted on there.
Yeah, I didn't
just
care.
The profile picture. It looked like one of those fake accounts.
Yeah, exactly. And so I had actually deactivated it, but I guess nothing's ever truly deactivated.
Frustrating, especially.
Yeah,
it's like, I really don't want this to exist anymore.
Right.
Well, so then I think it was. I don't even remember the login for it, but evidently my wife does because she goes on it every now and again. She was like, "Oh, because our wedding, we got married, but our large wedding." Well, thank you. Yeah.
When was that, by the way?
October 27th of this last year.
Oh, okay,
we were actually
you guys freshly married when I met you guys. Then
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Now we've known each other for 10 years.
Okay, yeah.
It was more of a we should. Just get this done,
Yeah.
It's happening.
I mean, honestly, and she is the most wonderful person I've ever met, and I am an incredibly lucky man.
Yeah, you're not like, and that was the biggest mistake.
No, honestly, I truly feel that's the only smart thing I've ever done in my life.
That's good. It's good to hear. It's always nice to hear like a successful story when it comes to marriage. When you're like, because I'm sure most of us grew up on the opposite of like, never,
But no, she is fantastic, and just the best friend you could ask for.
Cool.
But yeah, she's the one who has control of it. So every now and again, we were trying to get because we're having the big wedding this coming October 27th.
Oh, cool.
So we were trying to find addresses and all of that for invitations. Right. So she gets on my Facebook and she's going through it. She's like, "You've got like hundreds and hundreds of people who send you friend requests." It's like, I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if they get a hold of me, if I talk to them, I have friends that it might be years between when I talk to them.
Oh yeah.
But if you care about someone, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
it's just like yesterday. It feels like when you meet up with again.
Yeah. Exactly. And then there are some people, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. You drift apart.
Yeah.
And why try and force a continued friendship? I still care about that person. I care about everything, but we're not the same people we were when we met.
Right.
So
that's so true.
Just let them go, and if the universe brings us back together for some reason, neat.
Yeah.
And if not, hey, wish them luck.
Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah.
Anyway, what were we?
I don't remember, but Facebook sucks.
Facebook.
Yeah, it does.
Before that, what were we? Something about the had to do with your guitar building.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
You don't advertise, or
yeah, I don't advertise. I don't do any of that.
I knew we had lost something somewhere.
Yeah. No, I had tried for a while. I had a website for a while. Followed the whole, set up all of the social media, set up a website,
It's probably more of a pain in the ass than it's worth.
I mean, if I was spending all of this time every day working in the guitar shop, and then I had to spend another 2 to 3 hours on
it's another job.
Yeah, it is. And then they say, you can hire someone to do that.
Yeah. I mean, with what money?
Yeah, exactly. and is that really a marketable skill? I guess it is, and that's neat. But
for sure it is to me, because I'm similar to you, where I'm like, I don't want any part of any social media. I've had my time with it. I'm a grumpy old man as well.
Yeah, hey, but it's great. I dig it.
Yeah, it's what I am. But so you're basically, would you consider yourself kind of a boutique-y
Yes,
very
absolutely.
boutique.
My process, truthfully, I used to have models. I used to have all sorts of stuff that I would do. I just don't anymore. And truth be told, I don't keep a lot on hand anymore just because it's so expensive. But
So everything's kind of a one-off, very
Yeah.
personal. I like that. Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot more. And the people who come in, I feel really appreciate that because, oh, hey, I heard about, some weirdo who builds a fine guitar.
Yeah.
Let's go talk to him.
So it's
guy
all
in
like
the
kind of
garage,
word of mouth type stuff.
Which is the best way to grow
Yeah.
a business anyway.
Yeah,
So
that's
It's
true.
people coming to you that genuinely want your product, and they're probably willing to pay whatever it takes because they're getting a custom built, handmade.
Yeah.
Well, and I still have I should probably raise my prices. I don't talk about pricing outside of setup and everything, but
Right.
I should probably raise my prices. But my thing is, I would still rather see my instruments in someone's hand.
Yeah.
If someone comes in and says, "This is the dream that I have. I want this."
Yeah.
I want to build that. I want to build that for them, and then I want to see them out playing it and having fun. I want to help bridge that gap between this is my dream and this is reality.
Right.
And that's one of the best
cool.
feelings
Yeah.
in the world.
You're kind of taking a sacrifice to just make other people happy, which is
That's my thing. It's not a sacrifice.
yeah. If it doesn't feel like it, then that
Yeah.
you're doing something right because you're able to do what you like and also help someone else.
I mean, I do not make a ton of money. I mean, I make plenty to get by, but I'm also in that weird situation of I quit smoking recently, and you don't realize how much money you spend on that.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah.
now I have money falling out of my ears. Like I don't know what. I'm just gonna start throwing it in the street. I don't know what to do with this.
That's awesome, man. So you do like several supplemental kind of things with your income, don't you?
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
a couple. You're just like a kind of a trade man. You've got several skills.
You
it
have
seems like.
basically you're sort of doing what I wish I could, what I probably could do, but what I wish I had the balls to jump off and start doing.
Well,
Yeah.
do what I did. Be dumb and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
There's really no trick to it. It's all just if you like it enough, you'll make it work.
a lot of it really is network.
Yeah.
It comes back to that word of mouth. Meet people, talk
Yeah.
to people. You find someone who's in the industry that you like, talk to them, find out more about
See
it.
if you actually want to do it. Yeah.
I always feel like I'm bugging people when I do that. But it's
You have to
probably
think
all
about
in my own head.
if someone asked you about something you're passionate about, you probably wouldn't feel annoyed.
That's
Right?
actually really true. Like, there's a couple guys that are kind of in my similar niche of the kind of music I make and stuff, and these are guys I try not to idolize people, but people I definitely look up to, and that they're at the next step.
Yeah.
Just, the next step ahead of me.
Yeah, you want to be surrounded by people that you can learn from and
Yes.
Yeah,
grow
and
with.
Yes.
I've heard that a lot. Is surround yourself with people who are, I guess, successful. I mean,
Yeah.
you kind of
You're
become
the sum of the
Exactly.
5 closest people to you, or
Yeah.
something. That's like a common.
yeah, and even
thing.
like listening to you,
Yeah.
I try to pick little things up, like because it's all advice, whenever you're in that spot. But
Yeah.
to me, at least, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I mean, with getting back to talking to people about their hobbies and passions, I spent years. I mean, I had friends who were guitar builders in other states, or I'd talk to Tom, but I had no one in my close friend circle that wanted to talk about
Yeah.
the guitar world.
Couldn't hang out with peers. Yeah.
And then I met a friend who I won't mention his full name on the thing, but I met a friend, Greg, really great guy. He went to the Roberto Venn School down in Arizona, and now he doesn't do a whole lot with it right now. He's got other plans for it. But I finally found other
Yeah.
you get into that mode of you're just talking about everything that's going on, the new things that are coming out, the new guitars, the new interesting machines and tools, and everyone around you just closes off. But it's nice to have that. So sometimes it is nice to have someone who just wants to talk about your hobbies. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it's like a real big breath of relief whenever you finally find someone that you can just nerd out about
Oh, yeah.
with drill presses and wrenches and stuff. Like,
Funny you should mention drill press. That's the one machine that I have not replaced in the 12 years that I've had the shop open, and I really need to.
It's very expensive from what I gather.
Honestly, the drill press is one of the cheaper of the machines.
So they get more expensive than that, for sure.
Oh, God. Yeah. I've got a thickness sander. It's a 18-inch thickness sander that was about the cost of a car.
Oh, Jesus.
But it does incredible work.
Yeah, it'll save you money in the long run.
Yeah, it used to take me, it's like, okay, I'll get out all the hand tools and take everything down, and it would be 2 weeks of, this is everything I'm going to be working on for the summer. So get all of this done. Oh, I forgot to do this set. Well, crap, now I have to reset. No, now I've got this thing. Take everything down rough, dump it in, and it's within 0.005 of an inch. It is beautiful.
Pretty consistent results too.
Yeah.
So did you kind of buy all of your tools and instruments all together, or did you kind of slowly collect them?
I started with I had some money left over from when I was working landscaping and such. I started with buying.
I'm gonna go to use the restroom real quick.
Oh,
keep going.
Yeah, you're good.
I started with buying kind of the necessities, if you will, and then over time added. Now I made the mistake of, I'm a big fan of Zelda, the Zelda video game series.
We are here too as well.
Yeah, I mean any true human should be, because
you're a bad human if you don't.
Most of them are fantastic.
It's a fact.
Some of them are terrible, but there's a certain brand who has the Triforce emblazoned on the side, and when I was in high school and in other places, that's what everybody used. So I figured, okay, well, this is the equipment to get.
Yeah.
So I bought a bunch of that when I started off, and except for the drill press, every single one of those machines has broken spectacularly.
Oh wow! So that was a hard lesson to learn, I guess.
Right? Yeah. And it's not that the drill press hasn't broken; it's just that how does the drill press really break?
Yeah,
I had
he's leaning on it.
I had a belt disc sander combo that somehow, I don't even know how this would get through quality control or anything, but somehow the first one that came in, the disc sander on it, the disc itself was so far off kilter that when you turn it on, the entire machine would
just vibrate.
It would dance across the floor.
It's just a death trap from the get-go. Yeah.
Exactly. So I sent that back, and I get another one, and this one was only off by a little bit.
Yeah.
So it just vibrated.
Even better, yeah.
Yeah.
To get a replacement that's still broken
but
in an annoying way. Yeah.
It was only a year after that I had several of the pieces on them break. And I mean, you're hard on machines that are machines, but I didn't do anything outlandish or ridiculous.
I didn't abuse the machine.
Exactly. I wasn't Hulk smashing these. But after that, I switched to Grizzly, and their customer service is the greatest I have ever dealt with. So they've got a fan for life. But most of the stuff that I have, it's been over time building up, getting, I might have a really good year. And
because you can kind of splurge. For people that maybe don't know a whole lot about like the pricing on a lot of that, it can get real expensive real quick.
It can get really expensive.
You don't need, it's worth saying, you don't need the most expensive stuff to get started. Like you said, you just buy the essentials, and you can, if you're ever interested in woodworking or anything like that, you can just go online and kind of look up a list of, like, what are the basics you can get away with for like under $100 if you're like, this sounds interesting to me.
There's a ton of stuff. There's a ton that you can do with just hand tools. It's going to take you longer.
But they did it back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was done for an exceptionally long time until we had electricity. So
just look at some of the masterwork violins that are still made. How they used to make them, where it's like a multi-year long process for one instrument. It's like some of the most outlandishly priced finished products, like $20,000 for a violin. But you're paying for all that handcrafted precision.
You're paying for the luthier who knew what they were doing and created something great. Yeah, I actually have a bit of the opposite issue. I've built several violins. They're a lot of fun to make. I can't take more time on them because I just get annoyed.
Really?
It's pretty intricate, I bet.
It is, and it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. I do more archtop jazz style guitars.
Oh, cool!
Is what I do a lot of these days. That's what I enjoy the most.
It's probably more difficult. Out of most guitars that you can build, like electric solid body stuff is pretty straightforward. So I imagine the arch tops being, hollow. It's probably challenging or more challenging than starting with electric.
Definitely. But it's another thing that it's a skill that you hone over time.
Can you explain arch top? Because I actually don't. Like, those two guitars are the most. I know a lot about these two guitars right here.
Yeah, we're just like
that's pretty much it. So like,
out.
No, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I love it. What's an arch top?
I'll let
I hope I don't sound stupid.
So
No, not at all. It's in fact, that's part of the issue of finding people who actually want to play them. They're an instrument oftentimes used in jazz. Have you guys ever heard of Joe Pass?
Yes, but I can't say I could name you a single song. I can say that I've heard his name.
Well, Joe Pass is one of my favorite guitarists. Phenomenal guitarist, but he plays on a Benedetto, Robert Benedetto. Benedetto is the name in archtop guitars and jazz guitars these days, and rightfully so. He makes an incredible instrument. But it's that jazz tradition coming out of the 20s and 30s, kind of building into, because I know when people talk about 20s and 30s jazz, they oftentimes think about the Django Reinhardt's one who definitely comes to mind, the old gypsy jazz style, which of course is incredible. Well, he actually played on a flat top steel string Selmer, was just a different style. But coming out of that, the old big band sound, oftentimes you would see some of those the archtop jazz style guitars in there. They are a closer approximation. They look more like a violin than your standard guitar. The top and back are carved, usually by hand. Okay, actually, good way to think about it. Take the Epiphone Dot, or the Gibson Dot.
Okay.
The semi-hollow. And basically it's the same idea.
Gotcha.
It's just the jazz-style guitar, 18-inch bout, usually. 3-inch at pin, usually. It's everything changes.
Right.
But oftentimes single cutaway, usually, and like I said, everything changes. But that's getting into the main idea. But they're a lot of fun to make. They're a lot of fun to play. They have a very unique sound.
Can you kind of explain real quick what the difference between an archtop and maybe like this kind of standard looking guitar that most people would think about when they hear, or when they think of guitars, So.
I was talking to someone about this years and years ago, and we came to the realization that when you say guitar, no two people think the same thing.
It's probably a good point, actually.
Yeah.
One has a different idea, but if you could just kind of quickly run through like the different basic types. So there's like the electric guitar, acoustics.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like...
Well, in 1849, C.F. Martin created the flat-top steel string acoustic, as we know it today, with the X brace. Is it? Are we going?
Yeah, we can go just like a little more basic. Just so people kind of have a reference to what yours kind of.
In the year 2112, Rush revolutionized music as we know it. But no, it's when most people think about guitars, if we let's look at most rock stars are going to be playing an electric guitar, standard 6-string, unless you get into some of the newer guys, some of the weird stuff,
like new metal stuff.
Yeah,
it's like 40-string basses.
I had a guy call me one time and asked me if I could make an 11-string guitar, and I couldn't stop laughing long enough for him to get the rest of it out.
I told him to fuck off.
Yeah, can I? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe, probably.
Can you play it? I don't know.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
How many fingers do you have? How long are they?
He's just gonna punch at it.
Yeah, I think you have to at that point.
Yeah.
But no, you look at most rock stars. Take a very famous one, Jimi Hendrix playing the Fender Stratocaster.
Right.
That's an iconic image. Taking a different side of that, you've got Jimmy Page on stage, often playing the Gibson Les Paul. Still an electric guitar, very different style.
Yeah.
So both of them,
two archetypes for most guitars. that you
exactly.
see. Yeah.
I just hit the mic stand like an asshole.
You ass.
I don't think I heard it, so I think we're good. But now everyone knows.
But now everyone knows.
Yeah.
But and then let's move on to easily one of the most iconic acoustic guitar songs ever written, "To Be With You" by Mr. Big. Now that
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's a real toe tapper, that one.
Dude, I play that song all the time.
Do you?
Do you remember me playing that song?
No.
Dude,
I
I
was
love
just being sarcastic because I was like, I missed the boat on that. I guess I couldn't.
The solo is just to die for.
the fun part of that is I'm trying to remember the whole story. I saw Paul Gilbert live several times. I love Paul Gilbert, but he the singer.
Fingers.
Yeah, yes, he does. The singer wrote the song, and supposedly he had an older sister or something. When her friends would come over, he would sing that song for them. I don't know if any of this is true. This is just the story that I've heard. But what is true is when Paul Gilbert joined the band, he wrote the guitar solo for that song. So every time I've seen Gilbert live, when he's doing old stuff, he'll play the guitar solo from that song, but nothing else.
He's got the rights.
Yeah,
I'll play it. Yeah.
But no. The acoustic guitar is when you think back, Elvis dancing around on stage holding it. It's literally a box with 6 strings. I've seen more than that, but heaven forbid anyone actually do that, please, for the love of God.
Right.
6 strings suspended over top. Now, the big thing is it's actually a very terrible design. It's a wonderful design. I love the sound. Everyone loves the sound. I mean, someone starts, some college kid at a party starts playing Wonderwall, women just swoon.
Yeah.
That's exactly, that's what the acoustic guitar was made for.
Right. Yeah.
But one of the biggest issues is I like to say that the acoustic guitar itself, the flat top steel string guitar, is an emo guitar. From the day it's born, it's trying to kill itself.
Yeah.
It's the design itself, because of how you have hundreds of pounds of tension stretched over a flat surface. There's, like on a violin, you look at it and it breaks over that center where you have a sound pin, where you have reinforcement, and on the acoustic guitar it's just flat. You can get away with less tension on an electric and it'll be okay for longer. But the acoustic guitar, if you're not careful with them, those things are trying to tear themselves apart.
That is so true.
They don't like being alive.
The strings, for people that might not know a lot about guitars, when you get them put on a guitar and then tuned up, that's, like you said, hundreds of pounds of pressure.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
Always on it.
Yeah.
So
is that why the bridge literally rips off eventually?
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
it'll just collapse in and implode on itself.
Well, and something is, when you're looking at an acoustic guitar, everyone at home, go ahead and grab yours and take a peek.
Right. Everyone's got one.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't, call me.
Right.
No, but if you're looking at an acoustic guitar, where the strings connect at the bridge, if you look in front of the bridge, oftentimes you will start to see that the wood there is sagging or dipping down into the sound hole or port. Behind it, you see that it is raising, and they call that the load. Well, that's a load. It's just a poorly designed instrument.
They said, this is going to break. We should do a half-ass fix. And then
exactly.
continually do that forever.
That's why we have 2 tone bars that run down, because you've got, if anyone's ever seen the inside, those of you at home, go ahead and Google X bracing on an acoustic guitar. You have the X running through the guitar, and then in the lower bout, in that lower area where it pulls up, you have 2 tone bars. Now, this is the standard Martin style. Pretty much everyone has copied it. You'll see differences, and if you get into, like, Gibson also had Kasha, who built some really incredible instruments and did some very interesting things. And then you've got people today who are just trying different stupid things for a lot of them, trying to reinvent the wheel. You can't reinvent the wheel. The wheel exists.
Yeah.
But
it's as good as it's going to get.
yeah, it's let's make it more round. I mean,
more wheeliness.
yeah, exactly. But no, they're wonderful instruments. They're absolutely wonderful instruments. I obviously adore them, but the design wasn't great. They came about, that guitar, the flat top steel string acoustic, the cowboy guitar. It's the iconic one is the Martin D28. Whenever anyone says acoustic guitar, that's what, someone pictures the cowboy out on the range smoking, the Marlboro, eating chili and
tobacco and
and singing songs about love and life or lament. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of westerns, but something about being on a mountain. I don't know. I missed it.
Yeah, some romance.
Yeah. It's all outside of my wheelhouse. But no, they are a wonderful instrument. But they came about because you had the old Spanish style guitar, the flamenco guitar, the nylon string guitar. Nylon strings, there's barely any tension to them.
Right.
They are not putting a lot of stress on that instrument at all. But people wanted more sound out of that, so they would put heavier strings on it, and they were breaking. And so that's when Martin came up with, and there's arguments to everything. I don't care. I wasn't there, and neither were you. Yeah. But that's when basically they came up with the flat top steel string, that X bracing, to give that tension that you needed to hold the guitar together under pressure of those heavier strings, which is great. It's just, nowadays you see it's like, oh, that's a 100-year-old guitar. Does it still play? Then it's not the same guitar. It's been redone so much. You have to do so much work to them.
Yeah. They're like, all right, dummies, stop breaking your guitars. We'll do something about it.
Yeah.
But it's not permanent. Don't worry. But it turned out.
Yeah.
But we'll just do this forever. Yeah.
But that was really after years of building acoustics. That's really almost exclusively. I don't do a lot of electrics. That's really what kind of turned into. I was looking for something else, and I had really enjoyed building a jazz guitar years prior. And it's a lot of time investment. It's a lot of work. But there's just something so just. I don't even know, uplifting, just so soul girding to it.
Yeah.
When you get done with it and you're looking at it, it's like, I made that.
Yeah.
And now I give it to somebody else and go eat some ramen. But
right, yeah. And that's all I get is ramen.
Yeah.
Still.
Actually, I don't accept money, just ramen.
Yeah, hey, maybe one of these days I will. I used to always say that I made enough money to keep myself in cigarettes and poverty, but I have to change that now. So, but no, it's that's what kind of got me into it in the first place, and it's been an interesting journey, and I really enjoy it. And I now have one of the most interesting collections of little finger planes. I didn't even know most of these existed. I mean, from minuscule all the way up to hand size.
For people at home,
what is that?
Planes are a woodworking tool or instrument that basically it's like imagine like a flat piece of wood or whatever material, maybe metal on the back of a piece of wood. And then it's almost like a razor blade or a small chisel that you lightly kind of scrape across wood to finally kind of peel back or pare it back.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Basically, they get stuff flat, a lot of them.
Or in this case, these have rounded bottoms and rounded blades.
And then finger planes are just really small, literally. You can use them with a finger. So they're like real fine-tuned, just so people aren't like, what are you talking about? Like planes?
Yeah.
Because most people would think maybe like an airplane.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I have a very interesting collection of tiny planes. I have completely lost my mind and just started collecting toy planes.
I make little finger puppets, and they're all airplanes. Isn't that neat?
I have named them all George.
Well, it's been great, Joe. You can leave now, because I'm afraid you're going to murder us.
Would you like to see my carrot collection? I keep it in the car at all times.
Do you remember your first sale of guitar, and how did it feel weird to you?
Extremely. They still do, actually.
Yeah, where you're getting paid.
I'm
for
glad
something
that's
like
a common
that.
thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so weird. I was just talking to my girlfriend Gloria about this. She just sold her first. She does line art.
Oh, awesome.
She's really good.
She's
Yeah.
very good at it. Like she just learned this new style like very recently in the last like probably month or two, and has gotten really really good at it. And she has people like wanting to buy them from her, and
She literally
never
just got paid money.
Yeah, like there were that girl that was leaving when you got here. She was buying a drawing from her.
Oh.
So, she's never really experienced that before. And I was talking about how weird of a feeling it is when somebody pays you for something that you absolutely love doing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Because you feel like,
you feel bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, like I never
So
want
that is a common thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You just
And-
feel like everyone's a friend at that point. So
Yeah,
you're
I've
it's just a
literally tried to
favor.
give people their money back. Like,
They're like, no, Dan.
yeah, when they bought, if it's like music or something, I'm like, are you sure? Because
Yeah.
I'll put stuff up for donation, and maybe only 10 people want to pay for it, but those 10 people want to pay 20, 30, $50 because they want to see me doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I've robbed them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know exactly
You
what
gotta
you mean.
turn that into like a driving force. So you're like, well, I can't let them down now.
Right.
You know?
That's actually a good point.
Or just die a bit inside so you stop
every time,
Right.
and then eventually you can just take all the money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. No, it is, to this day, it is still weird. And because it is, and especially with, now there are other things that I've done, but with the guitars, 100%, it's from beginning to end, somebody comes and tells me what they want. I work with them along this entire journey to get everything right.
Collaboration.
Oh, that's cool.
So by the end, I mean, we're friends.
Yeah.
And then I feel
Very
weird.
personal.
It's like, and here's the baby
Yeah.
we've made together. Give me money.
Yeah.
It's like you were, literally just like the whole time they spent with you watching
Yeah.
it being built and fine tuning it all, and then at the very end, they're ready to pay. Probably to them, it's still a service, but to you, you're like,
Well, and I always
don't
do
feel right,
I always do 1/3 down.
like a down payment.
Yeah, and that's, pay for materials and things to get started.
Yeah.
And that's always really easy because that separates the people who are serious about it from the, and I've never really had an issue with that. But then it's that last, all right, now I need the rest of it. I'm so sorry. I
They're
really,
like, times are tough.
I need
Yeah.
some money.
Yeah.
But,
I'll straight up I recorded a song for one of my friend's bands, like I was telling you guys about earlier, and I didn't really hear. I was like, he was like, hey, how much do you want me to pay you for this? And I was like, I don't know, just like whatever you feel like. And then we kind of talked about it. I was like, what about like $50? Which was like really not much. Like it was just enough to like make it. I mean, I liked doing it, so it could have been nothing, but I didn't really like. We got it done, and I got them the track, and I didn't really hear anything back. But I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, hey, where's my money? Like, where's my $50, man? I was just like, honestly, if you don't pay me, like I won't even care. Like it doesn't even matter to me. It's just, it's not a concern,
Now, for me, on the other side of that, I have a very strict policy. Everyone is due what they are due.
And I agree.
So,
because if it's one of my friends, I try to put myself in their shoes.
Exactly.
And it's like, if I was asking this to one of my friends, I would want them to have my money because it's worth something, and it's even if it's not much, it's got to be something.
Yeah.
I know that I can work on something for, say I put 10 hours into something and I make $50. It's like that's that's not very much.
No, that's
few dollars an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
That's like less than minimum wage.
Actually, for me, that sounds pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like
I'm getting money from this.
it's like I could go get a job at McDonald's and make a few dollars more an hour, but it still feels incredible.
Yeah,
Like
it's a rush the whole time. So.
it is. Yeah. And you feel the need to like deliver. It kind of inspires you in ways.
I imagine it's probably even more intense when you're talking about a lot of money up front,
Somebody's
as an investment,
somebody's lifeblood,
and a physical product that is supposed to perform a certain way when you're done. It's not just I'm going to sit down at a computer, and not that any of that is not that you're actually doing work, Dan.
Right.
So, but
I'm going to sit down at a computer and faff about and make it.
I'm gonna click on this button that just makes a beat for me.
Right.
No, it's not.
Oh yes, human music.
Yeah. I'm gonna go download a song.
But it is something that like somebody's going to be using for like years.
I'm
probably going to have it forever.
Yeah,
most
exactly.
likely, or somebody's
Hopefully.
going to. It's going to last a long
That's
time.
the idea.
Well, and that is you want to create something heirloom, something that they pass down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that they'll take back to you someday for every repair or little like tune up, and you can look and check in on it down the road.
And I always tell them, when you name it, because
It'll
you're going to
happen.
name it. When you name it, you have to send me a picture of you with it, with the name.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And that's, you know.
Do you have like a collage going?
I do. I keep a book.
That's awesome.
But, and I'm kind of part of back to that, you know, like I don't like social media and things. I'm a pretty private person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not.
I feel like that's it's usually looked at in a weird way in our like today, but it used to be more of the norm than everyone kind of hyper blasting on social media all the time.
But no, I always do appreciate, and there are, you know, you work with a lot of older guys who are definitely more a lot like me.
Curmudgeon-y old
exactly.
farts.
So we respect each other from a distance, and it's fantastic. But it's nice when they do, because
bunch of, like, Ron
them usually won't.
Swansons.
Yeah, exactly. Give me all of the bacon and eggs you have.
All of it.
But,
That's cool, man. I'm glad that I'm not the only person that feels that way, though. Like
we're finding more and more that everyone's like, no, dude, I have no idea what to charge.
Yeah,
I'm surprised I'm getting paid at all.
You've been doing this for 12 years, and you're still like, I don't know.
I still have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I guess that's just
the thing about life. You just,
You know.
you kind of flounder around for.
Well, and it's different than a normal job, because it's so.
There's no security. you
Well,
know?
there's no security, but I just mean it's like not. It's like so subjective. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like with a job, you know, a normal everyday job, there's kind of a right and wrong.
Yep.
And
There's
when it
a
comes
number
to
at
art,
the end that you can look at and say,
Yeah.
I did this much of
and-
whatever, you know?
Yeah, and when it comes to something creative, you have to make these like judgments, and they're kind of like complex judgments that aren't.
It's mostly just guessing and
Guessing and kind of going with like a
go
level
with
of
how fixing your mistakes the whole time, and then you
using
get what you get.
intuition to, you know, and like somebody who's like trying to, they're going through you for what they need. They might have a harder time communicating it than somebody who does that for a living. So you have to kind of take their like really raw, like idea of what they need and kind of transform it into like an actual thing,
Definitely.
you know?
Well, and oftentimes one of the first things that I'll do is I tell someone, bring in a guitar with you, come in, play. You know, we'll jam a little bit, we'll talk a little bit, but something that I've definitely found is a lot of people, what they think they want and what they actually want can be very different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You never want to tell someone, no, you're wrong, you actually want this. You know, you want them
they have to reach that point themselves.
Exactly. But because, and especially in guitars, there can be so many buzzwords, so many, I want this thing and I want this thing. Well, do you know what those actually do?
Yeah.
You know, what do those actually mean to you?
I've definitely bought a few things that I didn't actually end up liking at all. Like, I found out the hard way. If you spend all the money and you figure out it looks cool, but it's not what I really want.
Les Paul Studio.
No, actually, I do love that guitar.
Okay.
That one's very nice.
I wasn't sure.
In the past, though, all the like LTDs and
The Agile. Do you have an Agile?
I do have that Agile still. I never play it, but I have it.
Yeah.
Just in the case I ever need to play a 7-string for
So you
whatever absurd reason.
Get a little groovy.
Yeah, a little jingly.
Yeah.
But
That's exactly why I have a 7-string.
Yeah.
it just kind of sits there, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that.
It's like sometimes you remember, it's like, man, I really love Dream Theater.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
and play it.
I gotta get real prog.
I'm never playing that.
Not John Petrucci again for the 11th time.
Yeah.
Sometimes
today.
you just need that extra rumble, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's a really interesting journey from beginning to end with most people.
Yeah.
Because you want them to get exactly what they want. And it can be hard to quantify exactly what they're looking for sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's why I really think it's important to get to know their playing style, who they are as a person, who they are as a musician, who they are as a player. Because, I mean, there have been many times I'd have someone come in that would talk about, oh, you know, I want that larger nut, I want, you know, the 1 11/16, or I want this, and it's your playing style. I'm seeing something very different there. Here, let me go grab something, try this out.
Right.
You know,
It's like a tailor-made instrument for you. When you go to get a suit made, you're not like, well, I want that one there, that exact one.
Yeah.
They're like, well, that's not going to fit right for your body. You have to get it adjusted and molded to you.
That's an excellent way of putting it. And it's like going to the tailor and saying, well, you know, my doctor says I have big knees, so make sure to put extra material there.
I need big knees.
Got a big knee.
Yeah, just the one. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. I don't get to do it as much as I would like, but you know, that's just kind
You
of
get to do it for a living, and that's enough.
Yeah. At least part of your income. That's more than.
I shouldn't say you get to. You are choosing to, and it's pretty amazing.
I get
honestly.
to. Let's be honest here.
You made the bold choice to not have to go to a 9 to 5 or something like that.
Well, like I said,
which isn't bad, but
I was 21 and too dumb to know any better,
and it worked out.
You know, hey,
so far so good.
So far so good. If I had it all over to do again, I'd probably be fetal crying. But because I look at the stuff I did back then. Now it's like, what? That guy was an idiot. Why did he do it?
Yeah.
But I'm
totally
reaping
normal.
the benefits.
Yeah.
You always look back and think, why did people pay me for any of this?
Yeah, that's like the natural. I think that's the natural journey.
Yeah, you
I do
expect
that
people to come looking for refunds. You're like,
yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. I look back even like if you know with music or whatever. Look back a couple months and it's like, ugh.
I feel like if you don't do that, then you're probably not growing.
You're not progressing.
If you're looking back thinking, God damn it, I did great on that. Like
it's like,
which is fine. You can appreciate good things.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, there's little
definitely recognize that you should grow constantly.
And that's probably something that as a builder I should never admit, but there are times when I'll see, you know, one of the early guitars that I built and someone's like, I still play on it every day, I still love it. And I'm looking at it, it's like, oh God.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh, come in, I'll give you a discount on a new
I'll
one.
just redo it for free, buddy.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah, that's absolutely relatable. I mean, but you have to. That's like, I think a lot of people have a hard time with that. Is you say there's somebody who wants to like start drawing or something. They start drawing and they're like, I suck. And it's like, you were absolutely going to suck.
I actually just heard a really good quote it's pretty relevant to that, where I forget which author it was, but basically they said, I'm probably just gonna like fuck this whole thing up.
The fuck out of
so
it,
now it's my quote. But they were saying about writing, you're definitely gonna be horrible when you first start, but it's the ability to recognize that you're really bad at it and seeing. They were saying that's indicating that you have good taste or good enough taste to know that that's bad writing.
Yeah.
So obviously you should keep pushing through that.
You're not just ignorant.
They're saying like I didn't write a good sentence for the first 100 or 100,000 pages I wrote.
Yeah. But eventually you're going to have a good sentence or whatever, or you're going to have a good drawing.
And then you'll see it and think like, you'll know for sure, like, okay, I finally did one thing right. So you can build on that.
And then there are published writers that I still don't think have had a good sentence, but they sell, so whatever.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
And that's the whole gig, is to convince or just dupe people into buying your product.
Exactly. Yep.
And then you never have to make a good thing ever. You just be horrible at what you do.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you do other things also, like when you're not building guitars, you have a few other kind of things you got going. What are some of those things?
For supplementing my income in the past, I've done a lot of audio work. And
like
that's
audio editing
usually
stuff?
Yeah. I've also helped out with recording and such. That was another one of those that's been a hobby since middle school.
Yeah.
You know, you get your first computer, you start messing around with it, and Back in the day, it was Fruity Loops.
Hell yeah, man.
It's still Fruity Loops.
It still is, baby.
It's going strong.
but yeah,
FL Studio.
Four on the floor.
Yeah, I understand what FL Studio is. I just refuse to equate that with Fruity Loops because FL Studio's pretty nice.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Honestly, yeah.
It's very intuitive.
I don't know how to use anything on it, but
that's what I started with.
It looks
back
real
in the
pretty.
day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've got several people that have gotten started in it because for live sampling and for a lot of the things that they want to do, it's perfect.
Yeah,
and it's very solid.
It's definitely it's perfect for people that want to do a specific genre of music or
If
not one specific genre. It's pretty. You can do a lot with it, but
if you want to drop that bass,
it's catered to bass dropping.
Yeah, and the sequencing is very just kind of EDM oriented.
Oh yeah, it really is. It really is.
Rap and stuff like that, and hip hop.
I think at this point we probably have maybe 0 people listening.
Yeah,
because everyone's confused.
Well, hopefully that.
But
I mean,
yeah, look it up
if you're willing.
Dum-dums.
Maybe some idiot's willing to learn.
Well, and I'll tell you, if anyone's listening at this point, I'm sorry, but I told you, I warned you I was boring. But if anyone's listening at this point and you're wanting to get into audio, 100% download Reaper.
Yeah, free, right?
It's funny. I recommend that to everyone. I've never even used it myself. I just know that it's a solid free thing you can get.
I've used it.
PC.
I used it for a while between because I had switched around between several different. I went back to Sonar, had some issues with it. Went to Reaper for about 6 months, and then ended up going back to Sonar. I only went back because different plugins and things work better with it.
Yeah,
but and I mean I have like a 10-year-old account with them, so I've got tons of stuff on it. But Reaper it's $60 for the full license. So dirt cheap compared to anything else. Extremely easy to use, very solid engine, very solid DAW. I never had really any issues with it. There are limitations, but truth be told, by the time you find those, you're going to be ready to upgrade to something else anyway. And there's tons of people who
I ran out of tracks I could make. Well, at that point, you're probably in a professional studio. So
real quick, before we lose anybody else,
bye guys.
I guess we should probably backtrack to like what the hell we're even talking about.
Yeah.
So I just wanted real quick little.
This might be a longer one, but
yeah,
it's okay.
FL Studio and Reaper, what we're talking about are DAWs, which is it's DAW. It stands for Digital Audio Workstation. These are softwares that you can use for making music or editing audio. For
if you ever hear like an audio nerd. Speaking,
think of Photoshop.
They'll say DAW a lot.
Yeah, DAW is a huge one.
See, I'm actually learning something here. I always thought it stood for Digital Audio Wumbo.
Wumbo, baby. So
I think that's right, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the technical term.
Yeah,
but I mean, to the average person, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not average. I just mean like, the person who's not into audio and shit. Yeah. It's Photoshop for
audio,
things that you hear rather than look at.
Exactly.
So real quick, anyway, but so Reaper,
so we can maybe reel in a couple more of those.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just kind of shot off on that.
No, that's fine.
That's what we're here
we have
to
do
do
that sometimes. But we kind of have our weird little niche, and sometimes we get kind of lost in it.
Yeah.
And
I like to seal the world out and only talk about stuff that I want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Reaper, I mean,
so Reaper, good stuff.
Yeah, you can get into that relatively cheap.
Can you still get that free?
There's
absolutely free version.
I think the way that it works is you still get the nag screen, but it doesn't lock you out.
That's cool. So it's not going to.
Is that where it's like, hey, buy me?
Yeah, it pops up and it says, "Hey, you should pay for the full license
while you're recording."
Yeah, but I don't think it locks you out because they want people to use it.
Yeah,
and I myself have bought. I have my license. I've bought 5 or 6 licenses for other people over the years to help them get started.
Yeah.
It's honestly, that's where I tell people, if you're wanting to get into this, that's where you get started, because the first gear you buy is going to be terrible, and eventually you're going to get rid of it. So don't fret too much over that. It's, you're not going to be running out and buying stupid expensive interfaces and mics immediately. And if you are, shame on you. That's a bad idea.
Dude, you got to buy the bullshit.
Have you learned nothing?
Garage sale type items for a while. Like I remember my first setup with like I was actually, so I had a compact laptop, compact Presario, that I bought, and my grandma bought it for me because I was
a good boy. Yeah,
I think I was supposed to use it for writing papers or something for like high school, but I downloaded FL Studio.
Yep.
And would just sit there with like my iPod headphones and mess with like weird, awful, like I still have them, but I'll go back and listen to it, and it's just like, I mean, comically bad music.
Oh yeah.
I wish I still had I'm glad I don't still have my early stuff, but I wish I still had my early stuff.
I love it. It's like having a photo album, but it's just
it hurts.
It hurts, and it's very, it's like way more vivid than looking at a picture of something. But
yeah,
because you can imagine right where you were when you were making
it's
that
a flashback to being in that headspace.
Yep, like, sitting on the couch, mom's in the other room or whatever, and making this beat or whatever. And then the MacBook came along for me, which was I was graduating high school, and I got a bunch of graduation money, and I was supposed to buy a car with it because I was bumming rides like a huge bum, and I bought a MacBook instead.
I mean,
the opposite of a car.
Yes,
that is. I believe that is musicians 101.
Hardcore.
Right there.
Like that was probably I got the most flack for that of anything I've done in my life, but it was still the best thing I have ever done with my life.
It's like a single biggest
top five.
Like working with musicians, that's probably the 1,000th time I've heard that story.
Yeah.
Just from
I mean,
it's a great mistake.
Yeah, it changed the entire course of my life, and I just started with GarageBand, recording direct through the built-in microphone to the laptop,
because we didn't know
that's actually it right there. That's the one that I bought. The thing's 8 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's still going strong, but I don't even know where we got off on our tangent, but we were talking about getting into audio.
Yeah, so like I said, the first gear you're getting, it's terrible. That doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to make it work with the trash for a while.
Exactly.
Make it sound as best as you can. Oh, I was going to tell you about my setup once I got the MacBook.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was running, once I finally got my studio, this is air quotes for studio, I had a 1/8 inch, so like a headphone jack on that thing coming out to a Sony, like, stereo, like that you put CDs into, and then that like with
passive, really familiar.
You know those Sony speakers that were downstairs, those trash ones. Those were my monitors. For like a long time, like probably 2 years.
Yeah, studio monitors were the biggest upgrade of my life. When I finally got speakers that were made to actually listen to stuff through and mix it instead of what you were doing, because I did that too, just like recording direct into the computer that's probably not like grounded or anything, so it's just buzzing it the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So tying that back to you, like what kind of stuff are you working on when you're talking about audio?
Well, it just kind of depends. Like I've
kind of like a gun for hire with it.
Yeah, truthfully, it's truthfully a hobby. I've gotten paid for it in the past and do from time to time, but it's just a hobby that I really enjoy. I love audio. It's fun.
It is fun.
And it's something that I've done for a long time. You know, you're talking about the biggest, your biggest upgrade was monitors. I switched from, I can't even tell you what year it was, switched from the stereo, plugging into, the family stereo.
The noise-making thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you had.
To, what brand were they? I think they might have been M Audio. Some M Audio,
place,
yeah, monitors, and that was a huge step up. I mean, that was it's like, everything I've made sounds like shit, and here's why.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah. You reach the point where if you get it sounding as good as you can, then you buy the next thing.
Exactly, and then years later, stepping up from those to the Yamaha, which the HS8s.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I have the smaller.
Fives, yeah. And like switching to those things, and then it's, oh god, everything in the world sounds like shit. And here's why. And it was, and then obviously just upgrading little things here and there as you go. But it's just a lot of fun. It's very interesting, and with a lot of the new stuff that comes out, I mean, I can edit in 3D. with some of the new stuff. It's insane.
I've never
like
even
3D audio,
3D audio mapping.
imaging and stuff like that.
It's insane.
I have no idea how any of it works. But
I don't either, but
it's crazy.
it's one of the plugins I have now. So.
I think does Slate have something 3D? Maybe not. Do you use Slate?
No.
Slate's
it
awesome,
might.
by the way.
I think our friend Justin also has those plugins, but I think he was telling me that it does do some 3D stuff because his mind was blown for a while. He's like,
dude,
I don't even know how to use it. I just turn it on and stare at it for a while. Have
it's a cool visualizer.
Flash. Yeah, dude. Not to get too egg-heady here, but dude, Slate has some amazing plugins right now. You can they can do like a subscription-based service. It's like $15 a month if you sign up. You have to do the contract for a year. But it's just the Slate Everything bundle, and they're some of the best plugins I've ever used. Super intuitive, like no bullshit.
You said it's $15 a month.
$15 a month.
Yeah.
I might look into that. I'm kind of an old bastard with. I hate the subscription base. I understand. I get
that though. Yeah,
it is kind of weird at first when you're like I
truthfully,
don't own these.
That's one of the big reasons why I use Sonar again. A, I've had them for a long time. But B, they offered a thing. It was pay X amount, never pay for another upgrade.
Oh, cool. So you just get every update now?
Yeah, it just auto updates.
You're a lifer.
I mean, yeah, it was a chunk of change, but
don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about it. It's mine. That's mine.
Mine forever. Yeah.
And
that's cool.
I use Isotope. They make ozone and excellent plugins, but I pay for them and I have them, and I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
It's not. And if any of them ever go back to a monthly subscription, I'll probably just move on and find something else.
Yeah.
Because that's why I got away from some of the other programs I used to use. And that's a big reason why I don't use Reason anymore. Yeah. Because I used to love Reason, but now you have to have that stupid dongle that's always plugged into your computer.
Dongle's
That's what I have. It's like the iLock.
Yeah.
I have to have that, to use Slate. That's kind of true.
Yeah. So it's basically like a key that if you don't have it, you can't use it.
But it's... To me, like the subscription, it is stupid because you never own it, and you could pay them potentially, like in theory, millions of dollars if you used,
But you're getting all the new stuff when it comes out.
You're getting new stuff when it comes out, and I am not going to have the money at once to buy them. So and they know that. Yeah. I mean, Adobe's doing that really hard right now.
I know. I pay for Adobe every month.
Oh, do you? Yeah. So what do you do? Like,
I'm getting into video editing more.
Cool. That's cool.
And have been trying to learn Photoshop. Photoshop's way outside my wheelhouse.
It's all very foreign stuff.
Yeah.
Do they teach you guys that in school by chance?
I'm sure there's classes you can take.
Well, I'm just wondering because for me Photoshop's weird because I can open it up and kind of know what's going on because they actually taught us that in high school.
I was going to say, I don't think my high school had a computer that could run Photoshop. So, I mean...
I did go to Blue Springs.
Did you...
Oh, you're
didn't
one
you
of
take
those
like
kids.
a photography class?
Yeah, it took like a... It was even like intro to photography.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't make anything cool.
It wasn't like the general public. Everyone's like going to their Photoshop class.
I would say like a quarter of the students probably know at least kind of what's going on in Photoshop a little bit.
They can clip stuff out and
know
what the buttons are called, maybe.
Right. And I'm no pro, but I can open it and be like, I'm familiar with it, and it's not like this crazy foreign
You're not totally
thing.
lost.
No, we had none of that. Now, maybe there was, and I never knew about it, but like I said, I'm fairly certain we didn't have a computer that could... I went to Fort Osage.
Right, okay. I know a couple people that went out there.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
I've been using... YouTube University trying to use these things.
Honestly, that's the way to go.
It's a great resource. But getting better at video editing, really enjoy video editing as well.
Yeah.
But and putting the two together, I've been doing more and more of that lately.
Sorry, we just took a little break, but getting back into it, I just want to ask about, because we were talking about your audio editing as a source of income. I'm just curious, how do you get jobs like that? Because that's a really... Even for me, who is an audio file, like I do some similar just editing stuff. I have no idea really about how you even get a job doing that kind of work.
The correct answer is you don't.
You don't. It stumbles into your
yes.
lap.
It's you do a bunch of stupid shit, and one day someone says, "Hey, you should do this," and that's really how it came about. The shortened story is years ago, I wanted to write music for video games because I was young and thought that was awesome.
Yep.
I'm old and still think it's awesome, but
that's my dream right there.
Yeah, I wasn't good enough. Let's be fair. That's all there was to it. But through that, I made friends and ended up doing some things in the audiobook world with them. Through that, I made some other friends.
It's all connections, yeah.
It is. It's word of mouth. It's, networking. And through that, met some people and ended up where I am now, where every now and again I'll get some audio work. I call it corporate audio. And it's, maybe they've recorded something, or they've got old files, or they've got something that they just need cleaned up, put together, and sent back to them. And because I do good work and I'm easy to work with, oftentimes I get called back on things like that. So
it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, or they'll tell, hey, company A works with company B. Company B, oh, we need to get this done. Oh, hey, company A says this guy's good. Try him. So
basically, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And if you're good, people like your work.
I always tell people the number one thing, A, be good at what you're doing. Practice. You can always be better. Never think you're good enough. And that's not saying, be down on yourself. You can be better.
Yeah.
You can be. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can be better.
Just in general.
Yeah, so just keep working, and that's everything. You as a human being, you're probably a pile of shit. You can be better.
Yeah, so, and that's okay, because we all are.
Because we're all human, and we're all kind of piles of shit. But, but that's, just keep working on it. But the other thing is, I don't know a good way to put it, be predictable. If you promise someone that you will do something for them, do it. Don't be late. Don't give excuses. Things come up, things happen, and that sucks. But it's so often I've done work for a company or for a person even, and I'll say, okay, this is what I have, this is how long it's going to take, and I will, it's that old I forget what it is. I almost said over-promise, under-deliver. Under-promise, over-deliver. And it's that same idea. If I tell them it'll be a week, I'll have it done in 3 days.
Yeah.
Give yourself a buffer.
Exactly.
That's really good.
For the what-ifs,
Don't charge out the ass. I understand a lot of people are like, well, I have to make a living off of this. I get that. I'm going to charge what's fair. What's fair? How much is my time worth? How much is it going to cost me to keep the computer running, to keep these programs up to date, to keep the things that I'm doing? I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to gouge. And because of that, a lot of people really like that. So they'll come back. And that's the best way to do it, is just be respectful, do the work that you promise, and if they know they can trust you, they'll use you again, and they will tell others. Yeah. That's the best way to do it. And I'm sure that there's, maybe there is some easy way to crack into stuff. I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to look for it. Because I don't care. Work hard.
It works for you. Yeah.
Exactly. Work hard, do good work, be respectful, do what you say you're going to do. And that's, again, just in everything. Do what you say you're going to do.
There should be commandments. There should be engraved in a rock somewhere.
Yeah, I recently realized, I was talking to Jimmy about this the other night, is I'm trying to get into it through like freelance websites, and it's a very lengthy process setting up your profile and all this stuff, and there's like certain types of, I don't know if it's like certifications you have to get or tests that you have to kind of go through to get,
I've never done any of that, so I have no idea. I get asked weird. About it, but
yeah, I asked you about it too. Yeah. But I started to realize that even doing something as simple as, so here's an example. I'm on a podcast, a couple of groups on Facebook, right? And there's a lady posting on there, and she says, hey, I'm just wondering, what do people charge for editing podcasts? And there's people dropping like, yeah, 40, 50 bucks an hour, whatever. I mean, it'll probably take less than an hour to do what you need.
Yep.
But this lady's like, well, I have my intro song picked out. I have my intro recorded. I have the bulk of it, and I have my outro recorded. Mm-hmm. I never really thought that just gluing that stuff together is a skill.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's for us starting this podcast. It's all stuff we already knew how to do.
Right.
It's easy.
Yep.
I mean, it's like easier than even.
This is. If there's anything in my
elementary.
life that I think maybe I'm good at this.
Yeah.
This would be one of those things.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, cutting audio and fading and kind of sticking everything together.
But we've also been doing it for a really long
7,
time.
8
so it's
years.
kind of second nature. Yeah.
And I've been recently thinking, man, I should try to make some money doing this because it's not a skill a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have it, but not everyone has. You know.
Well, but you also have to imagine, and it's. I always look at this from the standpoint of the guitar world. Once a week, I have someone tell me, "Oh, someone I know has started building guitars, blah blah blah." Great, they're not going to do anything with it. I would love to see more builders. I really would. I don't see this as a competition market.
Yeah.
But in the 12 years that I've been in business, I know one other person who said, "I'm going to start building guitars," and now sells them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've known hundreds of people who, I want to get into this, I want to do this, and maybe they start, and maybe they build one, and maybe they do something with it. Mm-hmm. They don't turn it into a business. It never rises beyond any sort of hobby. Mm-hmm. That's every industry in one form or another.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same thing. And it's that step into audio is a lot easier. So you're going to have a much broader audience, a much broader amount of people who are saying, "Oh, I do that too," or "Oh, I'm going to do that."
Yeah, you can get all the tools you need for it for free,
pretty cheap.
or
Yeah.
even
But the big thing is, are they going to follow through? Mm-hmm. Are they going to do good work? Are they going to practice their skills? Are they going to hone their skills? Are they going to take that job and actually deliver on time? Mm-hmm. And that's the big thing. After a couple times of doing that, your name is now mud, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, the sad fact of it, but like I said, just work hard, do what you say you're going to do, and it takes time. It does not happen overnight.
Right.
I mean, this was not something that I planned at all. It was a long, weird journey.
Yeah.
And here I am now. And I know people who are jealous of me. They're, well, how did you get into this? Well, you knew people. Yes, I knew people because I did work for them, and they liked my work.
Yeah. Or just talking to people too is huge.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
I'm constantly on, social media or whatever. I mean, even knowing you, that's something there, and you have this network of people too, and it's all about us being kind of connected. And
also, Doug, you're never going to listen to this, but you're an asshole. Thank you for all the business.
Shout out to Doug, the asshole.
Doug the asshole.
No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Doug.
But yeah, I mean, even like thinking back a couple years ago, that was how you were talking about wanting to score video games. Mm-hmm. Huge interest of mine.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with films too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I'm working on it's a no budget short film, but I'm doing that now. I'm working with a guy.
Yeah, your name's going to be on there.
Yeah, I'm going to have an IMDb credit, hopefully. Like that's
awesome.
To me,
5
years ago, that was an unreachable goal.
Right.
And it's taken 5 years of just talking to people and like figuring out, trying to find these little groups of people and
literally making your own path.
Making my own path and not relying on somebody finding me. Another one of my friends that I connected with years ago, it was way before I had enough experience to really be trying to do this kind of stuff, but I was interested in it. And I met this guy who was starting he had a little studio. I think he's out in probably like in LA, and he wanted to get together a sound library of samples and stuff, and he wanted help with that. And I kind of I was interested, but I kind of like blew him off, and I wasn't really feel confident.
Yeah.
that guy I've recently reconnected with. That guy has worked on some trailers for some really big films that are coming out right now. Like, and imagining myself like 5 years ago knowing somebody even in that realm is like impossible. So it's like, to me, there's a close step here happening. But it's just kind of cool.
And it is, and you never know how many degrees of separation you are from that point of, oh, now this is going to take off. Yeah. It's impossible to know.
Yeah.
But if you keep working, you'll get there. Or die, but, that's going to happen anyway.
Some way or somewhere along that path that you're taking, your end goal might change even, too. You might realize, it might not be far enough out, or it might be like too unattainable, kind of fine tune it as you go.
Yeah, take small steps.
So you might look back and think, I might not be where I thought I'd be, but I'm in a better place even.
Well, honestly, I mean, when I was a senior in high school, if someone had said, all these years later, you're going to be a self-employed guitar builder, I would have been mad. Yeah, but that means that I failed my dreams.
That's like a mediocre thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And to us, it's like,
to me, that's like I said earlier. I had to correct myself. Even I was like, that's like my dream job. You're so like you said, people saying that you're so lucky. Yeah, but no, actually, it's all just from hard work and a little bit of luck and
being too dumb to know better. I will swear up and down. Mine. Yeah. I swear up and down. That's the only way I got here. But no, this is exactly I have never been. I am at a point in my life I have never been this happy. I am awesome. Grateful for where I am. I am grateful for what I have. And had I stuck with plans, I wouldn't be here. And maybe I'd be happy there. Who knows? But I'm grateful for where I am.
Yeah, it shows for sure. Yeah, you have a good aura about you.
Yeah. I think it's just the awesome T-shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah, I just noticed that. You're talking about the video game music. So he's got a.
What is it?
Well, it's framed off of Iron Maiden's The Trooper.
Yeah. If you think of an Iron Maiden shirt, or just Google Iron Maiden shirt, it's probably the first one that'll pop up.
And this is actually Armored Maiden, the Hunter. This is Samus from Metroid.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
yeah, I just looked over and I was like, oh, an Iron Maiden shirt, and then I noticed. I'm like, oh no, okay.
That's awesome. No, I do.
I like it though.
I do absolutely love Iron Maiden. In 2016, my wife had never seen Iron Maiden, which is a travesty. She also wasn't my wife at the time, which was a travesty. But she'd also never been to Colorado, which was a travesty.
That's like
yeah. So it was the trifecta right there. So in 2016, loaded her and a friend of ours up in the car. We drove out to Colorado to see Iron Maiden, stayed in, this flea-ridden, just shitbag hotel run by some of the nicest people I've ever met.
It's a hotel for people to go see Iron Maiden. And
honestly, I truthfully think it was, because it's pretty much in the middle of that downtown area, and it's just run down and dumpy. But all of the other hotels in the area were like several $100s a night. This place was like $80 a night. And our lock didn't even work. But the only people at this hotel were there for the concert. And the people who ran the place were exceptionally nice, and they had a shuttle service and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's Iron Maiden, so it's one of the greatest concerts ever. I mean, those guys are pushing it up there in years and still put on one of the best shows you will ever see. Ever, period. And I've seen a lot of concerts. Go see Iron Maiden. That's all I'm saying. But and we also met, it was incredible, we met a couple guys from Brazil who were traveling around the world going to every Iron Maiden concert.
Serious groupies?
Yeah, just following them around. And they were fascinating people, a lot of fun to talk to. But yeah, no, that was one of that was a great experience, a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I've never seen them.
You guys are missing out.
I know. We're just disappointments now. There's a lot of bands like that I feel like I should see at some point, but I just
kind of like staples.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, never have.
Right.
Or the ones that maybe, being when I was younger, might have seen at a festival or might have seen in passing, and now it's like, well, they're not around anymore. I really wish that I had seen an actual concert, or I had seen more of, or just made it to a concert. But
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you can't live in regret. But
Yeah.
you know, still, I would have loved to have seen Pantera at their height.
Yeah,
Right.
There's a lot of those bands where you literally can't ever have the same lineup on them either, or see them in their heyday.
And I would have loved to have seen Yes at their height, but, you know, let's be honest, I was several decades from being born.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
Well, do you think we ought to...
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. I mean, well, do you guys want to? I don't care.
Yeah,
doesn't matter,
Probably about an
right?
hour and a half or so,
yeah.
I think.
I think we're.
Dude, well,
I know. I'm starting to get a little tired,
a
but
little fried.
I had to break into the energy drink.
Yeah.
yeah, I need to slam a Red Bull. But,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that was good though.
I feel like we could go for like 4
Yeah.
more hours.
If we,
Easily.
yeah, if we just kept going, I'm sure it would end up going that way. But,
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you guys having me on. We'll have to do this again sometime.
For
This
sure.
was a lot of fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was great to meet you.
Yeah. Jimmy, yeah. I forgot.
This is all very interesting to me, especially just
Yeah.
all the guitar building stuff. So it was a blast.
Yeah,
and
we,
we'll for sure have you back again.
yeah, we do.
So-
We're kind of getting like almost like a roster together of people who are,
Going to be kind of regulars, maybe on like
Yeah.
a rotating schedule of some kind.
yeah, we've already had one guy on twice, and
Yeah. We'll just have to see what happens.
yeah, we'll have you back on, and but yeah, man, this was one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
It's cool because most of these podcasts recently have been feeding into each other's kind of messages, and like a few of them from this one were just really pursuing like your things that make you happy and trying to work on
trying
that.
to break out of
Yeah.
the normal everyday bullshit, finding what actually matters,
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
past the stream of bullshit that we have
that
to
we
deal
just
with,
live in,
that we
yeah.
live
Yeah.
in and work in, and
knowing that everyone's suffering in some
And that
way.
we're told every day how terrible everything is. And
Yeah.
I mean, I get that.
force fed
It's-
all that. But
yeah. But there's definitely
people
another
out
side
there,
to that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a side to that we're trying to tell people about, and that we're trying to convince ourselves is there too. You
think it's working? Yeah.
I think we have to. It's helping me, so
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it's helping other people too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, we really appreciate it, man. We
Like I said, thanks again. This was, this was great.
Before we go, is there any? You want to do some? I know you probably don't, just gathered off of our conversation, but if you want to plug yourself at all,
yeah. If somebody
I feel like if
wants
you
a
don't, I
guitar
should
built,
at least.
If somebody wants a guitar built, they need to know me.
so they can hit us up and we'll get them in contact with you.
Yeah, now I will say, my current schedule, I'm pretty much backed up for the next year on guitars.
That's awesome.
But if someone wants to chat, that's absolutely fine. We can get some ideas and get things going. And it usually takes somewhere between 3 to 6 months from beginning of design to built.
serious endeavor.
Yeah. So,
do you have any kind of gallery of guitars you build, or is it all just kind of once it's out, it's out?
I've got, like I said, I've got the old web page. I've got all the old images from it and everything, and I keep pictures of most of the stuff that I've made. But I mean, it's
you're always changing, so
it's always changing, and I keep a few around for people to play, to say, hey, this is what I make.
Yeah.
I need to update those. They're a few years old and not completely indicative of what I do.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, you finish something and you're like, wow, I'm proud of this. This is some of my best work. And then a few years down the road, you're, oh God, I can't believe I made that.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. If somebody wants, they can just hit us up, and it's. I think it makes it kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's extra. Well, it's definitely not something you're gonna just wander into and say, I want a custom built guitar,
right? Yeah.
For my first guitar ever, or something like that.
Well, and I'll tell you honestly that something that's always been big for me is, like, when I first started the shop and I had people coming in for repairs, you had these people that were always arguing Fender versus Gibson, two of the biggest companies. I don't play on either one of them, but the two of the biggest companies, and they're always well, this is better because of this, and this is better because of this, and you realize that they're arguing because of the name. It has nothing to do with the instrument itself. Has nothing to do with the playability.
Pepsi versus Coke.
Exactly. So my thing is, why do I want my name on it? Why do you want that prestige of somebody's name on it? You take this and go make it prestigious because you are playing it. This is an extension of you that I get to make.
Yeah.
That's the journey that we take in creating this instrument. I don't care about, recognition. I don't want someone to be like, oh yeah, I play on, on a Mauck.
You don't want to be a name drop.
Exactly. Yeah. To hell with that. That's stupid. This is music. Music is meant to be shared. It's meant to be an emotion that we create and share with others.
Yeah.
A deep connection from soul to soul with all of those who hear it. So why are we adding in somebody's name? Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Leo Fender, don't get me wrong. I think the guy was incredible, but I'm not going to go around talking about how great Fender guitars are, first off, because they're not, but second off, because it shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be about that.
Right.
It should be about the musicians, those who are creating.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I come from.
It's a pretty good message to leave off on, I feel like.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to,
No. I
note.
tend to get chatty sometimes.
No, that's good. We'll save it for the next.
Yeah.
Well, next
chat
time
that
we'll
we
have to talk more about books and board games and how boring I am.
We could do all that.
You guys want to talk
literally
board games?
can.
I can talk 8 hours of board
We
games.
can talk about socks for all I care. It's fine.
Yeah, as long as it's with Joe, I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaving this feeling kind of juiced up, so I'm feeling good.
I think it was a good one. Yeah. Thanks again, man.
Yeah,
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks a lot. We will have you on again, absolutely. Everyone listening, thank you so much. Again, I want to thank all the people that are reposting and liking our stuff. Could not be doing it without you guys. You guys kind of give us that fuel to keep going. So really appreciate that. If you, again, if you're interested in working with Joe on something, let us know and we'll get you in touch with him. And thank you so much for listening. And I hope everyone had a great holiday. And you have anything else?
No,
You good?
I think, we'll wrap it up from there. Thanks
All right.
again.
Thanks again, Joe.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Bye.